Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hey, Tina. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. That's awesome. It's good to see you. I hope you're fantastic. Hope you're having a good week. Hope things are well. Oh, that is terrific. Good morning, Donna. Hope you are grand. I don't know how things are there, but it is beautiful here this morning. It was truly spring, the warmth coming in. Sharon Landry, everybody. Hello, Sharon. Good morning to you. So I see a few other people coming in. So please say hi this morning. We can all use the encouragement. Ah, good to see you, honey. Oh, good. I'm glad life is good. That's good. My cup of joy, made from real joys all over the world. Fresh squeezed joys. So, oh, it's coffee. Come on. All right. Good morning, everybody. If you're coming in, say hi. Come on by. I know it's not always everybody's tradition. Some of you like to hide out in the back. That's great too, but would love to have a chance to say hi to you this morning. Good morning, John. Hi, Bonnie. It's as if I just saw you. It's great. I'm sorry if I was short, but I was like, I got caught in traffic on the way over. I was getting we're cutting it close today. So, uh, hope you're good. Good to see your smiling face as always. Doing great. A little cloudy there. Okay, well, that's a thing. I am because I'm running late. I did not do my usual ritual of silencing the things that need silencing, so we'll do that now. Hello, everybody. It is coming closer all the time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Little yard work later. Oh, very nice. That sounds great. Perfect time for all this. All right. I'm just all kind of discombobulated this morning. All right. Morning, Fanny Faye Davis. How are you? So- yes, the ukulele. It's the ukulele, but yes, it is. It's like a little game of I Spy. Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. We've got a few more people coming along. Let the notifications hit, and we'll get going here on our continuing journey through the through Holy Week. It is the the most magnificent week of creation. Good morning, Irene. How are you? Great. Glad you're here. That's good. Glad you made it live. I know it's been a challenge, but I also know there's a lot going on and you're carrying a lot, but nice to see you here. Um, yeah, and nice. And Bonnie got me this cup, by the way. It's terrific. I love it because it's massive. It's like it holds a lot of joys. And by joys, I mean coffees. Good morning, everybody. We'll give it one more second here. Indeed. Very good. So glad everybody's doing well and hanging in there as we come to Holy Week. It is a joy. So, how is if you're still coming in, just please say hi as you come in today. I'm encouraged that we might say hi to one another and just offer one another a good morning. So if you're Audrey, get us on the road. All right. Living dangerously. Love it. All right. Hey, Judy. Great to see you. Glad you're here. Give my best to Trouble. Hope he's doing well. Keeping the devil out of the yard. All right. All right. Let's get going this morning. It is the 31st day, the last day, friends. And it does seem as if the prophet is coming true, that this day here looks a little lambish. So we're going to hope for that. I think the wind is due to die down, and March may be going out like a lamb. So that would be terrific. That our world, as we come to order it, might find its true ballast in these days. So it is the 31st of March at 11:11, and I am so glad that each one of you are here, that you're a part of this journey, this ongoing over a year now, gang. We've been doing it over a year, and we are in the middle of Holy Week. And how exciting is that we might come on this high week to share the events and to simply walk through with each other what these journeys of the acts of Jesus that lead us to the resurrection that are captured in this week. If you remember, I said yesterday that we have, of all the Gospels, that if you take all the time that the Gospels actually catalog and that you line them all up, it's really only about 3 weeks of time, even though that time is spread over 3 or 4 years. It's still really only 3 weeks of time. Of that, we capture nearly a third of it, one whole week that is written about this week. And so we come to what is known as Silent Wednesday. And this is how important, because, and I keep coming back to this because I want to make this because I think it's particularly pertinent with what we find in today's text about Holy Wednesday, about Silent Wednesday. That what we find in the journeying of Jesus and the power and the importance of Holy Week, of how much it dominates, is we find this difference. We find this delta between the teachings of Jesus and all the good healings and all the good things that Jesus did and all the things that, and that Jesus is a great teacher, and the actions of Jesus. And it's not that there's a difference, but that there is an emphasis. And that there are those, I believe, who will tell you the power of what Jesus did is that in his teachings, is that he gave us a great and beautiful moral law. I'm not arguing that. That's important. But what I will tell you is that the moral law that Jesus teaches in all of his teachings, the moral law that we find brought about in the Gospels, is kind of present in other places too. His wisdom is good first century Judaism in a lot of ways. His moral wisdom, his teachings are not extraordinary. Now they're brilliant and they're fantastic, and we can base a life on the moral teachings of Jesus, absolutely. But what we discover is actually what Jesus has done. It is the actions of Jesus that become power, that become the true force and change agent for all of humanity, for the billions of people who have declared aloud Christ is Lord. So here we find ourselves on Silent Wednesday. Now, if you remember last night, they stayed the night in Bethany, but at that time, somewhere along the way, Judas had snuck away to meet with the Sanhedrin, the overall bunch of the Jewish leaders, the chief priests, and he offered to sell Jesus out. So on Thursday night you get this betrayal. You also get the Olivet discourses on Tuesday night. Sorry, that on the Olivet discourses, these long sermons, the longest sermons we have on Holy Week, on the destruction of the temple, the destruction of the world, this wider things. I'm not going to get into those. I'm just setting the stage for to talk about today. So the great text that we have for today, what happens next as they go to Bethany, under the shadow of having just given this sermon about the end of the world, about the stars crashing down, about the partition of the sea. I mean, we're talking about apocalyptic stuff in Matthew 24 and 25, where he gives where I think you get the biggest chunk of that sermon recorded on Olivet as he's looking over Jerusalem. And at the same time, Judas is out there selling him out behind his back for betrayal. In the face of these things, end of the world, betrayal by your best friends, what happens on Wednesday? You know what happens on Wednesday? You know what we have recorded in the text on Wednesday? Absolutely nothing. Jesus and the Gospels spend the day in Bethany. They spend all day in Bethany because they'd gone to Bethany that night, and then on Thursday they will return to Jerusalem to keep the Passover feast. But all of Wednesday is silence. I want you to consider this. I want you to consider the power of this. It's the power not of what is said, but what is not said. Jesus spends the day with the disciples, with his friends, Mary and Martha and Lazarus, best friends in the whole wide world, and his disciples in Bethany, maybe getting ready for the Passover, maybe hanging out. But I mean, the text, there is no text. It is silence. Which of us, friends, knowing that tomorrow we would go to our death, knowing that tomorrow we would choose the next day to have a dinner party with our friends, to simply gather at their house and hang out, to simply relax and not be disturbed? One of the things I think is so powerful is that this proves almost a bit of Sabbath time in our journeying. It proves a bit of this time when Jesus just hangs out with his friends, right in the middle of betrayal, right in the middle of apocalyptic sermons. He says, "You know what? Let's spark up the barbecue and have a couple beers." Like, he literally has this time when he just hangs out with his friends right in the center of Holy Week. I believe this can't be emphasized enough. That, yeah, we have what the text says, but what the text doesn't say is almost more powerful. Because remember what Jesus was saying what he was up to yesterday, and what he's going to be up to on Thursday, is he says, "I come not to destroy the law, but to fulfill it." Remember all of that moral living stuff that we get talking about, all the teachings of Jesus along the way, all of these teachings, all of this moral stuff, all this, it's embodied in his ability to embrace Sabbath in the midst of his death, to embrace joy in the midst of his death, to embrace all these things right in the middle of conflict, in the middle of great conflict, having just picked a fight with the most powerful people in the entire region that can and will drag him off to his death. Having done that, he is undisturbed and relaxed into the peace of his heavenly Father. Now, I'm not suggesting that's necessarily something you and I are going to get a chance to pull off in this lifetime, but I am suggesting that this is perhaps one of Jesus's most powerful teachings, is what he doesn't say or what doesn't get recorded here, because he becomes the embodiment of Sabbath in the middle of great conflict. We think about the Ten Commandments, love your God, don't sleep with somebody else's wife, don't all the, they're solid. You and I, as Americans, the number one violator of the commandments that we are is our Sabbath commandment. We rejoice in violating the Sabbath. But when Jesus says, I come not to destroy the law, but to fulfill it, he actually fulfills it right there, right in the middle of the highest conflict he can do. He takes a break. Right in the middle of the highest, the crescendo of creation, of what's going to happen in the next few days. The week that will define all of humanity going forward. And if you kind of doubt that claim, I'm happy to talk with you about that offline, about how powerful this week actually becomes in the change of humans' trajectory over time. We have the advantage of looking back 2,000 years and seeing what the gospel of the good news of Jesus Christ has done to this world, and it has brought only incredible beauty and boon and wonder and connection with the divine. It is this, and that all is hinged out of what happens on Sunday morning with the resurrection of Jesus Christ. That and that alone changes everything. And right in the middle of that, the greatest and most powerful and most explosive week of all of creation, of all of recorded human history, Jesus takes a break. He knows peace. Jesus says that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall know peace. And that thing about this peace is that it is trust in God. That's what peace really is. That whatever we are contending with, whatever we're worried about, whatever we're anxious in, whatever is stealing our Sabbath from us, whatever is picking away at us, like a seagull picking at a piece of bread, like sometimes we feel like we're just pieces of us that are just pieces of bread getting picked away in this environment. Peace held within us is simply trust in God. That's all it is. And that God's got it. That God's got it. Jesus, in the embodiment of Yahweh God in time and space, the embodiment of all the creator of the universe, the embodiment, the incarnation of divinity in time and space in this hour and in every hour, gives us this grand example of peace, because he knows he's simply leaning on the will of his Father. That's it. He's leaning on the will of the divine that is within him, leaning on that God governs all things, and that he provides for all things, and that he leads towards a good end in all things. This is the promise. And I don't think it could be any more embodied than in the silence of Silent Wednesday. I want to offer you this morning this, two things as we get ready to wrap up our Silent Wednesday. First, I see, good morning, Deb Votrin. Glad you're here. Glad you made it in. And I see Vicky is here. If you do not know, it is Vicky's birthday. And so, by virtue of all that we are in the middle of the world as it is in its churn, in the middle of our Holy Week journey, in the middle of all of these pieces and parts, I want to rejoice with my friend. And so as you know, if it is your birthday and I find out on 11/11, I will sing you happy birthday. So Vicky, this is for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vicky. Happy birthday to you. All right. That is my little attempt at the embodiment of Silent Wednesday and all the pieces and the parts that would swirl around our lives, all the things that would come at us, that we might know the peace of Christ on a Silent Wednesday, the hanging out with our friends and the embodiment of that peace in all that we are and all that we do. And so I offer you this Gaelic prayer. This comes from the Celtic tradition. And so I offer this to you today. Take it in as the understanding of, in the midst of the highest things, there is always the Lord's peace there for you to lean into, so that you may have the wishes of this prayer. Deep peace of the running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Amen and amen and amen, friends. Hope you have a great day on this Silent Wednesday. I hope you'll spend some time just in your favorite place, as Jesus did. Bethany was his favorite place with his favorite people. Spend a little time in your favorite place today if you can. If you can get there, if you can. But beyond anything, seek to spend a little time in the Silent Wednesday. A little bit of time with the one who made you. Lean a little bit into the confidence that all the chaos that swirls around you, the voices that would betray, the voices that would destroy, the voices that would bring about new change and new acrimony, every new phase and new season, every great loss and deep grief, all of them are contained within the love of Jesus Christ for you. And that in that you can rely as peace upon peace and grace upon grace. All right, friends, that is it for today. Tomorrow we get back into action. Jesus has a lot to do tomorrow. It's a big day. He works double shift. So we'll begin with Holy Thursday, Maundy Thursday, Mandatum Thursday tomorrow, and we'll talk through the rest of the events of this Holy Week. Peace and grace, my friends.